Hey, today is October 15, 2020. I'm healthy, I'm strong. I have a U.S. pending court case in the U.S. Supreme Court, case number 19-1289, Benavides versus Barr. And October, just recently here, I filed a rehearing because the Supreme Court case denied my case. But this case it's not just for me, folks. It's for the American people. It's about the Espionage Act of 1917. It's about the illegal eavesdropping and wiretapping. It's about the Fourth Amendment. It's about the civil rights. It's about freedom. It's about privacy. It's about computer systems. It's about applications. It's about your privacy. Okay? We don't want the federal government just to go and start implanting Americans, without consent, without due process of a law, without a federal judge's court order, without probable cause, without your consent. We don't want the federal government to do that. And if we look at the Declaration of Independence, okay, the Declaration of Independence, it basically sums it up for us, folks. I can't stress it for you enough. It was written for a reason, okay? The Declaration of Independence was written for a reason, and that's to regulate our government and regulate our people, okay? There's a couple of things that have taken place that are breaking to you that I'm gonna relate here in just a minute. I'm just gonna kind of get some notes here together, and then we'll talk about those things because I want to make this available to you because it's your right, and we have the freedom to publish this and the freedom to speak. Thank God to our Constitution. Let's see here. So anyway, as I was talking, the Constitution gives us the freedom of speech, gives them the freedom of religion, the freedom to redress the government for grievances. Okay, we know that for a fact. Okay, so I had the right to do that. Now, the breaking news is that just recently here, I don't know if you're aware, but Dr. Michael Hoffer from the University of Miami, and I'm going to clarify that. Okay, Dr. Michael Hoffer is a ENT otolaryngologist. Okay. His name is Dr. Michael E. Hoffer, MD, from Miami, Florida. Okay. He's the one that treated the U.S. embassy or the U.S. diplomats over in Cuba that were attacked by these exotic space weapons. Okay. And what I've come to understand is that Dr. Michael Hoffer, as of last year, has been taking patients that are being targeted individuals. Okay. The name that has plagued our internet. We know that Americans are being targeted, tracked, and tortured with satellite weapons. How do we know that? Let's go back to the 2001 Space Preservation Act, okay? 2001 Space Preservation Act, okay? That act was a House bill, folks. It was titled House Rule 2977. It was in the 107th Congress, okay? And it was written by a congressman, Dennis Kucinich, the congressman from Ohio. Why would a congressman create a bill to protect Americans from what is happening today? We are being targeted, tracked, and tortured with satellite weapons and electronic harassment at the eyes of our government. Okay? When you use exotic weapons against American people that's illegal to use in the UN, in the Geneva Convention, you've committed treason. There's no doubt. And then the people that are aiding, abetting, and investing in this crime is treason with attempt to kill Americans. It's murder. Okay? It's treason, folks, whether you like it or not, by our legislative body. Okay? Now, is Dennis Kucinich insane for writing this? Or is he correct? Well, who's correct? Dr. Michael Hoffer treating the U.S. diplomats and then treating patients in America at the University of Miami Health Systems? And by the way, October 29th, I went in and contacted Dr. Michael Hoffer. I called his office and said, Dr. Michael Hoffer, I would like to see you. I am a targeted individual, and I would like to see you. And he said, okay. Talked to his nurse, and she set up an appointment for October 29th. And he did testify to me in a recording. His office testified to me that he was seeing patients as of last year that are being targeted. So for all you targeted individuals out there who are being tortured by satellite weapons, electronic devices, go see Dr. Michael Hoffer. He's at the University of Miami Health System. His name is Dr. Michael Ellis Hoffer, MD, at the University of Miami Health System. You can contact his office. He's at 1120 Northwest 14th Street, floor 5, Miami, Florida, 33136. You can contact him by phone if you like. He is a neurologist, an otolaryngologist, and an ENT. Okay, which basically studies our nose and our passage down our esophagus. Okay, so he is an expert in otology, neurootology, ear conditions, cochlear implantations, hearing loss, vestibular neuritis, concussions management, dizziness, vertigo, neurologist, pediatric dizziness, adult pediatric hearing loss, sudden hearing loss, Meniere's disease, tinnitus. Okay, he has expertise in that, folks. The weapon they are using against us shuts down our neural system. I'm not a doctor, but I've studied medicine. I was a pharmacy tech and I was a medical assistant. And I followed doctors. For years and years, I was a supervisor at the one of the clinics there. I can't disclose that because I don't want to slander them or libel them. But I assisted doctors and I followed behind them. And I've learned a lot about neurology. I've learned a lot about medicine in general. Okay, your body is has got its own medicine cabinet. It's got I don't know if you know about endorphins, but it's pretty simple, folks. If you bump your elbow, you got pain. What happens to the pain? It diminishes. That's because your body produces the endorphins to fight off the pain. Okay, it's that simple. When you cut yourself, what happens to the cut? Well, you got a lot of matrix that continue to spindle these nice fibers into your flesh to conceal, to cover up that wound and heal yourself. But if you're constantly being plucked and picked at by the satellite weapons every single day, you're going to have a traumatic effect. You're going to have your white blood cell count is going to increase because think about it, folks. Your body produces enough white blood cell counts to heal that wound, to heal that to heal that bump. It produces enough white blood cells. But if you continue to be pecked away by these satellites, it just causes an interruption of white blood cells, and it causes bad cells. It causes radicals. So it is bad when you're being attacked by this. And you can ask the doctor about this. I'm not an expert on it, but I've studied enough medicine to know about these things. Okay? Now, back to Dr. Michael Hoffer. And you can look this up on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. It was a recorded video on YouTube. Okay? And I'll give you that address. You go on YouTube and you type in, let me give you that web address so you can look at that. But I set up an appointment with Dr. Michael Hoffer's office because too many people are dying, okay? When there is a crime and the FBI want to investigate this, that gives me the right to record this, folks, okay? As evidence, as criminal evidence, because Americans are dying from a weapon that's not noticeable to the FBI. We don't recognize that, sorry. Well, how does it that you don't recognize it if a CIA recognizes it and an NSA agent recognizes it and a NASA agent recognizes it? And we'll talk about that later, okay? Okay, let's see. 289, let's see what we got here. Okay, so if you go into YouTube and you type in, if you type in the U.S., it's titled in capital letters. It's capital letters. U.S. space Supreme Court case number, that's NO 19-1289, Benavides versus Barr. Okay, it was published October 9th, the day that I recorded it. It's got 90 views. Listen to the video. Listen to the information. Listen to the evidence, okay? I called Dr. Michael Hoffer's office because we have a crime being committed against our government. If the FBI doesn't recognize this crime and a doctor is treating for this crime, and you got psychiatrists and police officers that are locking people in mental institutions for complaining about this, what is going on, folks? People are being killed. We have a pandemic they're calling a so-called virus. That's a bunch of bullshit, folks. The facts are the facts. They're using the coronavirus as a scapegoat to attack us, okay? We know that for a fact, okay? Look up Dr. Michael Hoffer in that video. Watch the video, and you can contact, like I said, Dr. Michael. Dr. Michael Hoffer is on. He has his own website. He's treating at the University of Miami Health System. Okay, and I got an appointment for October 29th. Okay, you guys make your appointments now. If you're a targeted individual, go see him. If you have insurance, he's accepting Humana. Okay, he's accepting probably other insurances. He hasn't gotten a teleconference yet, but I think he will if he's get enough patients. Go see him. He is an expert. He helped the U.S. diplomats that were attacked with exotic weapons in Cuba. He knows what he's talking about. The government, the Secretary of State called him for a reason, folks. You don't just call up, hey, Dr. Michael Hoffer. You don't call up somebody that's not qualified to treat these patients that are being attacked by satellite weapons. This doctor is highly qualified by the U.S. government. He was contacted by the Secretary of State. He is Dr. Michael Ellis Hoffer, MD, a neurologist. Okay, contact him at the University of Miami Health System. Okay, so we know for a fact that back in 2001, the Congressman Dennis Kucinich tried to pass a bill. Okay, and this bill was to prevent from being targeted and tortured by space weapons, folks. Why would you not pass a bill to protect space weapons unless you've invested your money in corporations such as Raytheon, L3 Harris, Boeing, and AT&T, and all those tech giants that are behind the curtain, behind you, collecting your information because you're too busy texting away, giving your location up there. It says location, and they're tracking you because you think you have COVID. And so they are torturing you because you're not wearing a mask. Okay? You're not wearing a fucking mask. 2, you saw a doctor, you just walked out. 3, you visited a COVID-19 death camp who stuck the cotton swab up there and gave you the fucking virus, made you sick, and they're tracking you. They are tracking people when you leave the COVID testing sites. People, wake the hell up. We have satellites among us. They're tracking us with their own devices. Okay? I can't stress that enough, folks. They're trying to make you to me. They got me implanted. They're reading my mind. They want to treat you like me. They want to be able to manipulate your mind. So how do they do that? If they can't microchip you, the only thing they rely on is on his damn phone, on your computers. Because that's all they have. It gives away your GPS location. I mean, it doesn't make a difference. I don't care. Well, I'm not in trouble, so why would I worry about, giving my location out? Folks, it's about making money. Who's making money off your information? The tech giants, doctors, okay, for sure, all right, and the U.S. government, all right. Lawyers are not making that much money because people aren't harmed it, but we got a breakthrough. Dr. Michael Hoffer is treating targeted individuals, so maybe they will find the culprit to attacking us. Maybe the FBI is getting smart enough. Okay? I can't stress it anymore, folks. You have that right, folks. We know that we are being attacked as of 2001. Okay? It was denied. But why do you have coalitions? Why do you have coalitions? Okay? Coalitions such as targetedjustice.com. targetedjustice.com. www.targetedjustice.com. Look at that website. Look at the latest news. Go into the latest news. I challenge you, look into the latest news on their tab there up top. And it's devastating. It gives you substantial evidence to move forward and ask these congressmen and senators these guys they're changing offices this year. They want your vote. Your vote is like a buck to them. It's like money, man. It's golden. Why don't you go up there and ask these guys, hey, man, why is this stuff published on the web? Is this stuff true? And if they say it's a fucking conspiracy, say, fuck you, man. Here's the hard facts. You have Dr. Michael Hoffer. You have Dennis Kucinich. You have these coalitions. If they can't truthfully talk about these things, they are criminals trying to get their foot in the door so they can secretly hear how the government is manipulating your lives with stock markets to attack you and kill you. Bottom line. Okay? But if they can truthfully ask you questions of how Americans are being targeted and tortured by the tech giants, by your smartphone and computers, then we can sit down and you can give them your vote. But if they can't answer any questions, if you can't go to a voting poll and ask a representative who's representing that guy who's going to run for office why this is going on, and they can't give you a truthful answer, you don't need to vote for those guys, folks. We want somebody who's going to protect Americans like Congressman Dennis Kucinich and the Space Preservation Act. We need some stuff like that, folks. We don't need people who are going to beat around the bush and saying, well, no, this is not happening. You know, it is happening, folks. Okay? www.targetedjustice.com. If you want source, if you want underground information about the government, this website is the one to go to. All right? Another website is going to be PAX International. PAX International. Thank you, Derek Robinson, the U.S. Navy veteran and the NSA operative, for People Against Covert Torture and Surveillance International. Okay? Look at his website. Derek Robinson was a former Navy sailor. He is a former NSA operative. He knows what's going on. He was behind the curtain watching all this. He uses weapons, you know. Ask him about this thing, folks. PAX International. All right. Debbie Tovares. Thank you very much. Debbie Tovares. StopTheCrime.net. She's got a big website there. She's a very smart lady. Debbie Tovares, thank you very much for StopTheCrime.net. We know this is going on. They don't want to realize it. The FBI is neglecting it. We know why, because the CIA has come forward. The CIA is operated. I don't know if they don't have that much jurisdiction in the United States. They have jurisdiction with foreign land, but still, if foreigners are attacking Americans, you have the right to investigate that, and that's what the FBI is not doing. And we know that because of Dr. Robert Duncan. So, if you type in YouTube, on the YouTube, and type in Dr. Robert Duncan and Jesse Ventura. Type in Jesse Ventura, and what do you have, folks? Dr. Robert Duncan and Jesse Ventura once discussed about being targeted, okay? They know what's going on, folks. They know that Americans are being attacked with these space weapons, okay? They are denying the facts, the hard facts, and the truth. The truth is that Americans are being tortured, you know? And so it is not fair that as a CIA operative, you blew the whistle and now you want to talk about this. If it's so important, why do you come out and speak about this, okay? So that's just more information and more ammunition for your complaint, folks, okay? We know it's happening. They don't want to face the facts. Another video to talk about, and let's go back to Dr. Robert Duncan. Dr. Robert Duncan has got several books. He has several books. Dr. Robert Duncan has several books called, let me see if I can go back to his you can look him up here. He's got several books. One is called Project Soul Catcher. Project Soul Catcher. Okay. We know that he wrote these books. We know that he is a whistleblower. You can find him on Facebook too, Dr. Robert Duncan. Let's talk about Karen Milton Stewart. Karen Milton Stewart is a former NSA National Security Intelligence Agency officer. She was behind the curtain watching all this, watching people being tortured. She blew the whistle as a good Samaritan, as a good American, and as a hero. Anytime the government is so corrupt that they violated your constitutional rights, you have that right to blow the whistle. What do you do as a whistleblower? Well, you come up with the facts. They sit down and talk to you, and then they compensate you for your information. Okay? So these are just facts. I mean, these are just solid facts. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. You cannot make this stuff up. This is just hard facts from the computer. Okay? Karen Milton Stewart is an NSA operative. You can go on YouTube and type in Karen Milton Stewart. Karen Milton Stewart. Okay? Karen Milton Stewart is an NSA operative. Look her up. She's on all over YouTube. Okay? Richard Lighthouse. Richard Lighthouse is a NASA employee, former NASA space engineer or professional who blew the whistle on targeted individuals. Okay. I can't stress anymore. I mean, it's more important that you understand that you have two things going on. You have the FBI saying, "No, this ain't happening," and you have Dr. Michael Hoffer saying, "Yeah, this is happening," and the FBI is having too much fun. So here we go with they're fluctuating left and right. Dr. Michael Hoffer, the FBI, but then you got Dr. Michael Hoffer, and you got the CIA, and you got the NSA, and you got NASA, and then you got the FBI saying, "Wait a minute, I'm a federal police. I'm supposed to protect Americans. I can't disclose that. Because if I do, I will be embarrassed." I'm talking about you, Mr. Ray, Satellite Ray. You get it? So, if you have the CIA, the NSA, and if you have the NASA that are all blowing the whistle, and you have the FBI saying, "No, wait a minute, who's responsible? Who's responsible for investigating these crimes?" Okay? How do you defend yourself from a satellite weapon? If they are tracking you and torturing you, how do you clearly defend yourself from a satellite weapon? Can I go buy a satellite, launch it in my backyard, and say, "Okay, I'm going to stand my guard in my home, and I'm going to shoot back at these assholes with these satellite weapons"? Can you buy a satellite? Hell no. They're not going to sell you a damn satellite and then go over to a NASA Space Center and launch a goddamn satellite right above your fucking house and watch your house and shoot back at these motherfuckers. Fuck no. The Constitution says you can, but can you technically do that? No, you can't. Do you have the right to own a gun? Yeah, you do. You have the right to protect your property. But what if you're wrongfully diagnosed and they say, "Wait a minute, you're fucking nuts. This can't be going on. You can't be targeted. You cannot be tracked or spied on and implanted." What do you do when they're lying about this shit? And then you're saying, "Well, this is not happening." Dr. Michael, here you go. On one side, you got Dr. Michael Hoffer and you got the FBI. Dr. Michael Hoffer, the CIA, the NSA, NASA, you got the FBI. So who the fuck is right? Come on, people, wake the fuck up, man. All right? So my civil rights have been taken away. I've been implanted, tracked, and tortured. They took away my gun rights, and now they want to beat me down with a satellite? What's the only way you can defend yourself, folks? Do you A, shoot back at them with a satellite? Do you B, shoot the moon? Do you C, use fighting words to protect yourself? To drag them into court to finally realize, "Hey, assholes, this is going on. Here's my evidence." Which I clearly did. Okay? I tried to bring this to the court's attention, and what happened? They threw my case out. They didn't want to sit and talk about this. Now that's in the U.S. Supreme Court. My case was thrown out. I had a chance to rehear, which I just submitted to rehearing so we can hear it. This case involves American people. It involves our constitutional rights, civil rights, freedom. It involves espionage, illegal spying, tracking, torturing, computers, and smartphones. Bottom line. We have to regulate those things, folks. If you do not regulate them, and the people behind the curtain are making money, such as Google, Twitter, Facebook. Look at the stock markets of those guys, man. Jeff Bezos. Let's look up Jeff Bezos. What is Mr. Bezos worth today? Jeff Bezos. How much does he make today? Jeff Bezos is worth $197.3 billion American dollars, not pesos, American dollars. Okay. And he owns Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And how many of you out there own stock? How many of you purchased Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram? How many of you out there own smartphones that use Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? And how much information do you put out there for Mr. Bezos to give to the federal government so they can track and attack you? How much? Okay, $197.3 billion is a lot of money, folks. Let's look about Bill Gates. What about Mr. Bill Gates? See what Mr. Bill Gates is worth. Mr. Bill Gates is worth $117.8 billion. This is the man that's trying to implant you, who's trying to track you. These guys are giants, folks. They're fucking giants, bottom line. And they're the ones that got intel, giving information to the monster up there to attack you. And there you are investing your money in that shit. You're putting stock markets in dollars, and they're investing your money in that. And what happened? They're turncoating against you to attack you. What about Mark Zuckerberg? Mark Zuckerberg. Let's look at Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. What about Mark Zuckerberg? Mark Zuckerberg. How much is he worth? Mark Zuckerberg is worth 99.86 billion, not million, but B with the billion. Okay? If these guys were to get their money together, they would pay the American debt. But they're feeding off your money, your investment, in your stock markets, turncoating against you so the government can use it against you. Bottom line. Okay? The tech giants is what it's all about. They run the world, folks. Without your consent, they're behind the curtain, following you, stalking you, and tracking you because you don't have a face mask. You have a Twitter account, Facebook, Gmail account. I mean, this is all coming into play. It's making sense now, folks. All right? I don't know how to put it in perspective, but if you didn't have a smartphone, if you didn't have a computer, and you know, they would be out of business. They would be out of, if America said, you know what, let's just do a night out. We're going to shut down the computers and smartphones for 1-2 days. The stock market would crash. The government would crash. They would have no fucking jobs. American people have the power over these guys. You're putting these three guys into play. You're feeding them the money. And they're staying hungry. I mean, they're staying rich and famous. Okay? But let's talk about the engineering facts about these whole things. Who's getting harmed? Who's getting harmed off of your pension? Who's hurting? Who's dying? Who's making the money behind this magic curtain of killing Americans? That's the question you have to answer. Okay? I just can't give you any more information than that, folks. I mean, that's just concrete evidence. That's concrete information. It's just the facts. Just the facts. I didn't make that stuff up. You can go on YouTube and look all that information up that I've given you. It's just the facts. Okay? Go into, where did I go? Targeted. Let's see, tidata.com. tidata.com. Let's see. I think it was targetedData.com, I believe. TargetedData.com. Let's see what we got here. I think targetedData.com. Well, anyway, if you go to targetedData.com, you're going to see that that Dr. Michael Hoffer, like I said, is treating targeted individuals. That's the breaking news. That's what I wanted. That's my main discussion today, okay? That's the breaking news. Dr. Michael Hoffer is treating targeted individuals, okay, as of last year. Okay, and the way I got my information was to a source that's very vital and very secret. Very secret because they don't want to disclose their medical information, which I don't blame them. You don't want the people to know your medical problems. Now they're attacking me. See, they don't like me speaking about it. The truth, motherfucker, nothing but the truth. Nothing but the truth. In my case, the whole tooth and nothing but the tooth. All right, so we know this is going on, and I found this information. And by the way, this information was given to the Texas Rangers in Texas to investigate because I want them to go undercover into Dr. Michael Hoffer's office, sit down there, and have him analyze how they're being targeted. And went to San Antonio Police Department Internal Affairs. Because they are the city of police, the city of San Antonio, okay? They are taking these reports, not writing targeted individuals. They're writing some psychological defect about targeted individuals, and they're hauling them off to medical institutions. You can't do that, folks. That's false imprisonment in a sense. If you have this doctor treating American patients, cannot do that. That's a false imprisonment. And you can get sued for that, okay? San Antonio Police Department Internal Affairs was aware about that. Send them an email. Ken's 4, Channel 4 News, KSAT 12. They all had the story to cover up. And you have to cover it up. You have to cover that news because if you don't cover that, you can be liable for that. The media can be liable for crimes that are happening against humanity, against our country, okay? City of San Antonio was warned about this. Mayor Ron Nuremberg, I informed him. The Judge Wolf, Nelson Wolf, was informed about this. Okay, just the facts, folks. It doesn't take a guy to work for the FBI to investigate and bring evidence to the FBI. Just take some intellectual researchers that go on a computer that can research this. Okay, bottom line. They're attacking. They like attacking us. Okay. Water. What is water? What is water? Water replenishes what? Red blood cells, white blood cells. Does soda replenish red blood cells? Water replenishes red blood cells. If they're attacking you, damaging your tissue, water. Okay, back to the weapon. You got a couple things going on, folks. You have satellite weapons that are attacking you. Those weapons are a pinhole precise. They're very precise. We know that because of Richard Lighthouse, who is a NASA engineer, NASA expert. He's saying that the weapon is so precise that it's about a pinhole size, okay? This weapon penetrates concrete. It penetrates wood. It penetrates asphalt. It penetrates sheetrock. It penetrates wolf shingles. Wolf shingles. It penetrates plywood to get to you. Now, if you are sleeping at home, if you're falling asleep like this, and I can see inside your tonsils with this weapon, and they're attacking your weapon while you sleep, attacking your back throat, folks, and it cuts and slashes you, because it can cut you. I know that it cuts flesh. If it cuts inside your throat, causes laceration, you go to the doctor. You don't even go to the doctor. Say, fuck, I'm not gonna go to the doctor. You don't go to the doctor immediately, right? What happens is it becomes an infection. It doesn't become a virus. No, it doesn't become a flu. It becomes an infection, a skin irritation. So it creates pneumonia. It gets in your chest. So what you want to do is immediately when you feel laceration of a throat, go to the doctor and make him take care of you. Make him give you an antibiotic. Okay? Nowadays, doctor says, no, let's give him some chloroquine. Let's give him chloroquine. Let's give him some bullshit, folks. This is a skin irritation so fucking precise that it's pecking away at your throat, causing skin lacerations. So you automatically give them what? Would you give them chloroquine for a skin laceration? Would you give them, you wouldn't give them chloroquine. You wouldn't spray with Lysol. You wouldn't give them bleach. You would give them an antibiotic used to treat skin infections, or antibiotic medications to treat an infection of the upper respiratory, which Z-Pak is known to treat these upper respiratory infections instantly. Z-Pak takes about 3 days to knock out Z-Pak. If you take the medication in 3 days, it'll knock it out. And if you drink a lot of water every day, it'll knock it out. Chloroquine is for mosquitoes. Did you get bit by a mosquito or by a satellite weapon? You didn't get bit by a mosquito. You got bit by a satellite weapon, okay? So treating an respiratory respiration infection with a chloroquine is not good. Treating a respiratory infection with dexamethasone is good in a sense because it eliminates the swelling, the infection, the swelling of the infection, the irritation. Dexamethasone does eliminate the swelling, okay? Now, the simplest thing on earth, folks, is that you have to realize they're calling us a virus, they're calling us coronavirus, it's not coronavirus. This thing is a satellite weapon, okay? It's so precise that it's attacking your throat, causing the infection. It suffocates your breathing, causing hypoxia. We know that already. Dr. Michael Slidell, www.targetedjustice.com. Dr. Michael Hoffer, he is an ENT. Okay, we know these things already, folks, okay? Doctors are wrongfully diagnosing people all over the country, putting people on ventilators. That's bullshit, folks. Challenge your doctors. They're the ones making the money off this. Challenge your doctors. They carry a lot of insurance policies. They carry millions of dollars and millions of dollars in lawsuit coverage. If they were to get sued for malpractice, they would carry millions of dollars. Challenge your doctors, because they have to analyze this. You got to make these guys responsible of this, folks. They are using satellites to attack us, and it causes hypoxia, which is the ability to breathe, because your cells in the lungs and your area are being manipulated by these weapons. Microwave energy weapons, folks. I can't stress anymore. You're going to have to ask your doctor. Show them the evidence. Why is Dr. Michael Hoffer treating patients? Why has Targeted Justice got all these doctors and they're saying that it causes hypoxia? It's the facts, folks. It's the facts. Okay? I'm going to end it by that. Like I said, I'm healthy and strong. You know, I work out every day. Drink a lot of water. I drink about 2 of these a day, but 1 of these and a half. I eat fresh vegetables. Stay healthy. I work out every day. That's what you have to do in life, folks. But you have to understand, mentally, don't say, hey, I got a fucking virus. No. The one thing they attack is your breathing apparatus, your ability to breathe. They attack your nasal passage, your lungs, your throat. They choke you. That's the weapons. That's what these weapons are doing. They're killing Americans with this. And people that aren't smart, they don't know anything about law, about medicine, they're going to suffer. You have to educate yourself, folks. Take a pulse ox. Be careful. Oh, that's another thing. Let me make it to you. Let me make it to you. These things right here, these phones, anything that's got the batteries. If you have a battery on your phone, you see the battery right there? That battery has got a life in it. It's charged. Okay, that weapon up there will decharge that battery and diminish the power in a battery. The same thing for your pulse oximeters you put on your finger, it will diminish that. The same thing for the power in your smartphones, it will diminish that. The same thing for the car and your battery, it will diminish that. And the same thing for your heart. If it can shut down a battery, it will shut down your heart, because your heart has electric pulses, an SA node and an AV node. They got to fire back like a fucking spark plug. If there's no spark, and they can shut that down, you're dead. Simple and basic facts. That's just strictly facts, okay? Be precautious, know your body, challenge your doctors. And if you want information, type in www.targetedjustice.com. Thank you very much. Go see Dr. Michael Hoffer. Take the flight to Miami. I think I was looking at the flight from on American Airlines from Miami, from San Antonio from Austin to Miami. It was about a 2.5-hour flight, straight flight, nonstop. Take that trip to Miami to see Dr. Michael Hoffer. He is treating targeted individuals. Thank you and God bless.